Hello there, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Adrianne, and we're going to take a very soft approach to our practice today, almost taking us into a place of surrendering, letting go, releasing, and we're going to start lying down on our backs. So make yourself comfortable on your backs, but if you have a strap and maybe a block or 2 blocks handy, have those by the side of you for the practice today. So just coming to a reclined pose, lying down on your back as comfortable as you wish to, and you can take a reclined butterfly where the soles of the feet come together and the knees just come out to the side. Maybe you just like to lie in Shavasana, but whatever works for you today. This is your practice. And as you come to your mat, that sacred place where we come to just let go and not think of anything else that's going on around us, forgetting the past, forgetting the future, drawing into that present moment. Take a few nice deep breaths here in through the nose and exhale nice and steady and slowly through the mouth. Sigh it out. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Last time, deep breath in. And exhale through the mouth. And then just returning back to a steady, even breath. Breathing in and out of the nose. And using that inhale to travel all the way around the body. And the exhale to let go even further. Releasing tension and tightness. Surrender. Surrender to the postures. The difficult ones reflect life's struggles, the sweet ones our joy. Surrender to the outcome of your actions. They are not in your control. Each day, each practice, just do your best. Surrender to the actions of the universe, the marvel of nature, the things you never saw coming. Surrender to your present difficulties, the pain and the losses, especially to the things you tried so hard to control but couldn't. Surrender to the definition of yourself, your judgments. They are just your way of limiting who you are. Have a deep, unwavering trust that right now you are where you are meant to be. Feel the universe working beautiful magic through you. Maybe you wish to draw into an intention or a dedication for your practice today. And then whatever you pose you chose to take for your recline, just coming out of the pose and just drawing the knees in towards the chest. Nice and lightly, no forcing, just allow the legs to be heavy. Maybe the hands come above the knees or onto the shins. And then take that deep inhale and that deep exhale once more as you just let the spine release underneath you. And then gently, just keeping the right knee in towards the chest. The left leg can go along the mat either with the sole of the foot on the floor or lengthen the leg all the way along. And you can relax that leg, or you can make it dynamic by drawing in the toes up towards the sky into a dorsiflex. And if you've got that strap or belt handy, you might wish to use that because we're coming into a reclined leg stretch. So sometimes it's quite helpful to just make a little loop into the strap so you can place that over the sole of the foot and then just lengthen the foot up towards the sky. You can always keep a nice soft bend into the back of the knee if you suffer with hyperextension. Just be careful not to lock into the knee. And then relaxing the elbow down to the mat. And take a few nice deep breaths here as you just accept and surrender to the pose. Tune into your breath, tune into your body awareness, knowing what's going on for you, what comes up, your reactions and your response. Thinking about those toes coming back over the top of your head, away from the top of your mat. You don't have to go too deep, just warming up. And then nice and slowly, taking the left hand onto the hip, left hand onto left hip, right leg goes out to the side. So again, you can always take a bend into the knee. And supporting the strap with the elbow down onto the mat. Let that leg feel heavy, relax into the buttocks, but ground through the left side of your body. As we start to open up through the hip, notice what goes on within your own pelvic area, the back, the inner groin, the inner thighs. Deep exhale as you let that leg become even heavier. And then nice and gently, inhale, lift the leg up through the trees. And then exhale, change to the left hand. We're going to take it over to the opposite side of the mat. Maybe that leg comes down onto a block or to the mat. You can always take a bend into the knee and release the foot. And open up through the chest here. So the right arm goes out to the side with the palms face up. And you've almost rolled onto your left hip. And again, find comfort in the pose. Effortless, no forcing. And then just engage the core. Inhale, bring the leg back into center. And release the strap. Bend the heel in towards the buttock once more, knee in towards the chest. We're going to take a half happy baby. So taking hold of the foot or using the strap, you can take the leg out to the side. Again, think softness, less effort, more productivity. And then gently release the heel and take the legs out into Shavasana. just sway out into the hips and the pelvis and the lower back. So left knee comes into chest, right leg goes along the mat, and then using that strap or belt once more, placing that loop over the sole of the foot, taking the leg up towards the sky, and exhale. And just notice, as we've come into the other side, just notice any differences that may come up for you. Working with any challenge, and maybe this is your good side, so enjoy and smile to yourself. Let the leg be heavy, taking softness into the knee if you really suffer with tight hamstrings. Relaxing into the spine and the hips and the pelvis. And gently taking the right hand to the right hip, let that left leg go out to the left side of the mat. Holding onto the strap should you need to support, relax into the buttock. What happens when we lift the buttock up, the leg is a bit more raised. You can always take a bend into the knee. So it's about making the poses comfortable enough for you to stay and hold and find that stillness. Gently inhale, use the core, bring the leg back in, change the hands. Right hand comes to the belt or strap, and then you roll over onto the right hip, and that left leg comes across the body. The left arm comes out to the side at shoulder height, and you open up through the chest. You've got a twist going on into the torso. You've got some work going on into the hips, the IT band, the inner thigh, the groin. There's a lot going on in the pose, but find comfort and surrender as you exhale. Nice and slowly inhale, use the core, roll back into the center, and bending into the knee, taking the strap away. If you come into that happy baby, so taking hold of the foot, the calf, or the thigh, and then drawing that knee down to the outer edge of your mat and the outside of your rib cage. Deep exhale as you surrender into half happy baby, and give yourself a little smile here. It's always nice to be lying down on our backs, just working with functional movement, improving flexibility, softness within the joints, mobility. And then gently release the heel to the buttocks, send the leg all the way along the mat into Shavasana, and just wiggle out through the hips. Gently bring the right leg in, left leg in, placing the soles of the feet down onto the mat, lengthening and flattening off through the spine and letting the hips drop. Hands come out to the side of the body, palms face down. We're coming into some pelvic tilts, so just make sure that you're comfortable here. As you tilt the pubic bone up towards the sky, it's a gentle curl into the belly, and then as you exhale, you roll down. So lifting the pubic bone up towards the sky, and each time getting a little bit higher. And you're rolling up through into the middle back. Notice what happens with the feet, the knees, and the spine. And rolling down, bringing the hands a little closer in towards the hips, pressing the palms in. Maybe the feet come in to touch the fingertips. We're going all the way up into a bridge pose. Maybe roll onto the backs of the shoulders, keeping the neck nicely in line with the spine, not turning the head left or right. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Keeping the knees nice and strong. And gently roll down each and every vertebrae all the way to the mat. Draw the knees in, roll and massage out as you come into reclined child's pose. And then taking the knees out to the sides, just start gently mobilizing into the hip joints. So you can do a few rotations, but you're just guiding the knees out to the sides. And then circle the other way. And coming into a full happy baby this time. So taking the knees wide, letting the legs be heavy, and then taking the feet up to the sky, maybe holding onto the feet, the calves, or the thighs. Rock and roll. Just through the spine, and then find stillness as you come back into center. Lengthen through the entire spine all the way to the base of the skull and the base of the spine, lengthening the tailbone along the mat away from you. Nice deep exhale as you release any tightness or gripping or tension into the hips. Couple more breaths. And then gently lifting the head and the shoulders off of the mat. We're going to draw the heels in towards the buttocks and in towards one another. You can use the strap here to loop over your feet, or maybe you are able to interlace the fingers. And then again, just roll from side to side here. Find some comfort. Be careful of your knees. And you draw the heels in towards the buttocks. Relax the shoulders. And then nice and gently release the hands as you release the head back to the mat. And then you gently, keeping the feet connected, release down to the mat and come into that reclined butterfly. Just finding a place of comfort here for a number of breaths. And then taking the hands to the thighs, lifting the legs in towards one another. Realign through the hips, the pelvis and the spine once more, and draw the knees in as you circle and roll and massage. Placing the soles of the feet down, hip width apart, just dropping the knees over to the right and the left, almost like windscreen wiping with the knees. Letting the legs be heavy to each side, relaxing into the hips, gentle twist into the torso. And bring back into center. And then roll over to one side and just press yourself up and come into a really nice and soft tabletop here. So the wrists might be a little bit forward of the shoulders. Elbows might be bent, knees a little bit wider than hip width. And you're gently just relaxing here as you sway into the hips. Maybe introduce some circles here so you can circle the hips forward and back a few times. We're going to take a wide leg child's pose. So taking the knees to the outer edge of your mat, toes come together, reach the fingertips forward. Exhale, belly, chest, head come down to the mat. And just feeling that length into the spine, releasing each and every vertebrae, creating even more space in the spine. Relax the hips and the buttocks, let them be heavy back to the heels. And as the forehead is now connected to your mat, to the earth, just draw back into that intention of surrender. And sliding yourself all the way along the mat, releasing the hips, the belly, and the torso to the mat. Bring the big toes to touch as you just sway out into the lower back. And the head comes to the back of the wrists. And as we start to slow down our practice, we're just going to take half frogs here. And we're going to just draw that right knee out to the side. So you've got a 90-degree bend into the hip, not too far forward. And a 90-degree bend into the ankle and also the knee. So 90, 90, and 90. Let the body fold down. Gently bring the leg back and again just sway out into the hips. Left leg comes out to the side. And just drop the hips in towards the earth. And then slowly slide that leg back and just sway out, relax. And we're going to come onto our backs to finish up. So if you want to make yourself a little bit warmer, maybe put some socks, a blanket or a hoodie on, anything like that. We're just going to roll over onto our backs where we are. And just finding that flatness once more in the spine. Gently drawing the knees in towards the chest. Nice deep exhale. And taking the legs straight up to the sky. If you wish to, you can introduce the arms into that dead bug pose. Relax the shoulders down the mat. Close the eyes and just reach the toes and the fingers away. Feel heavy through the body connected towards the earth. And then just gently rotate through the ankles. Had a bit of standing work today, obviously in those balances. And through the wrists. And drawing the knees in towards the chest. Roll and massage out. And if there's something that you need to do right now, go ahead, do that. Or just make your way into your Shavasana. And your Shavasana is your Shavasana, so you can find whatever pose is comfortable to you, but it helps to have the feet a little bit wider than when they're together because that's very restrictive. So try to take the feet a little bit wider and allow the ankles to relax. Arms can come out to the side, maybe with the palms up, or depending on your shoulders, you might prefer them to face down, and that's entirely your choice. And just roll the head from side to side, nice and gently to ease any tension into the neck and the throat. And then bring center and find stillness as you breathe out. Allow your mind to be clear of any thoughts other than being right here, right now, the present moment, on your mat, with your body and your breath. So if your mind is wandering, just come back to your breath and how the body feels, what experiences and sensations are coming up. And gently bring some movement back into the hands, the head, the feet. Give yourself a big stretch if that feels good for you. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest. Nice deep exhale as you just roll out in child's pose. And then taking your time, roll over to one side, press yourself up and bring yourself into that comfortable seat to close our practice together. And bring the hands into the heart, sitting nice and tall, grounding to the earth, rising through the crown of the head. And just draw back into any intention or dedication that you set at the beginning of the practice for yourself. And give thanks and gratitude to you for showing up, for practicing today, to your body, your breath, and your energy. And I thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.